In this video, I want to share with you my number one favorite print-on-demand product to sell on Etsy and why you should be selling it too. Hello everyone, my name is Mike. I'm a full-time print-on-demand seller. I make YouTube videos showing you how to make more money on merch on demand and Etsy. If you like this kind of content, you get any value out of this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and like the video. Now, before I share with you my number one favorite print-on-demand product to sell on Etsy, just want to do a quick sales update for merch on demand and Etsy. So today is Friday, November 28th, 6:06 a.m. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. So let's see here. Yesterday it was kind of slow because it was Thanksgiving. People aren't really buying T-shirts or spending time with their family. So only did 12 sales, $17 in royalties. So nothing really to brag about there. That is going to put me at 636 sales for the month and $1,120 in royalties. This has actually been my worst month of the year. But I remember it was kind of the same thing last year. I didn't have a good November either. I think it's just the niches that I'm in. But if we take a look at Etsy, Etsy has been jamming, had another big day yesterday. So let's go to yesterday. So yesterday ended up doing, I think, right under 200. Yeah, so $178 in revenue and 12 orders. That's really what's been helping my sales. Is I've been getting more of them. Usually I do like 3 or 4 or 5 sales a day, but it's almost doubled. And if we go to the month, we're going to see that for November, I'm seeing that over 200 sales, so 243 sales and $3,751 in revenue. Now that is not profit, that is revenue, but I did stop running ads on my Etsy shop, so that's going to help a lot more with profit. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, where I post my daily sales for both merch on demand and Etsy, the link is in the description. I also started posting a lot more of these reels, sharing with you niches, motivational content. I also just kind of share with you like my life down here in Mexico. I'm born and raised in Mill Valley, California, but I've been living in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for the past 20 years. So my number one favorite print-on-demand product to sell on Etsy is white coffee mugs. I've been on Etsy for 8 years now, maybe even 9, and I've tried to sell almost every print-on-demand product. And I start off with T-shirts just like everybody else. And don't get me wrong, T-shirts are great to sell. I still sell them. I still upload and design for them. But about 2 years ago, I started to get into the mug niche, or started selling mugs, and I just saw a whole bunch of more sales. And there's a couple of reasons for this. That's just what I want to kind of talk about real quick, and also just share with you like my Printful dashboard here. This is for the past 6 months, my stats for the past 6 months on Printful for the products that I've sold. So we're going to see here that white glossy mug is the number one best-selling product on my Printful shop or for Etsy. Next one is going to be T-shirts. Then we have the Bella Canva. These are all other types of T-shirts, some lady T-shirts, and this I believe is a hat. This one right here. Hats are also another good one. But by far it's been the mug, and there's a couple of reasons why I like mugs. There's so many pros. One is that obviously they just sell, as you can see here, but they just make great gifts, especially around Christmas time. If you compare them to like T-shirts, a T-shirt, that kind of is going to go into my next pro, is that like, with a T-shirt, they might get the sizing wrong, so they might be kind of like afraid that, it might not fit or whatever. So it's just easier to just buy a mug because, there won't be any problems. Another thing that I really like about mugs when I compare them to T-shirts is there's barely any returns. With a T-shirt, it might not fit, so they might have to return it. And then, the way I have my Etsy shop set up is, I gladly accept returns. So I will actually send them a new one. But, that's just, that cuts into my profit basically. So barely any returns. Now I will admit every now and then, sometimes I do get a message with mugs saying that the handle is broken, but with Printful, they do a really good job packaging it with in a nice box. But I will admit every once in a while, I do get a message like that, a photo like that with saying that the handle has been broken. And I'm just looking at my notes here. So yeah, so those are the main pros for selling mugs. And there was one last pro, is the profit margin, and that is what I want to talk to you about next. All right, so now I want to show you the profit margin on one of my 15-ounce mugs here on Etsy and Printful. So right here we are on Printful, and this is what I pay. This is the cost for me. So right here, it's $7.95 is what they charge for a 15-ounce mug, and this is what the shipping is, $6.99. There's a shipping surcharge. You don't really know what the heck that is about. But then I get a discount because I have some type of program with Printful. I think it's the growth program or something like that. But basically, this is my cost right here. This is what is charged to my debit card for the mug to be printed and shipped, so $13.84. And then if we go to that order on Etsy right here, this is what the customer paid. So I have it priced at $28.69, but I always have a 20% off coupon. So this is what the customer paid, $22.99. But I also charge shipping. So every time I sell a mug, I'm charging $5. Then there was also sales tax because this person is from Colorado. And then another type of fee right here for 28 cents. So this is the total amount that the customer paid for a 15-ounce mug, $30.78. And if we go to ChatGPT just to see what the actual profit is, so right here, I just asked ChatGPT, I would like to know what my profit is after Etsy fees and fulfillment for a 15-ounce coffee mug I sold on Etsy. In the attachment, you'll see how much the customer paid. My fulfillment cost was $13.84. Because on Etsy, there are a lot of fees. It's like, I don't know the exact amount, but somewhere between like maybe 10 and 15%. And ChatGPT just really broke it down, talking about what the customer paid, the Etsy fees right here. So you can see what the fees are, like the transaction fee, the Etsy payment processing fee. So let's just take a quick look at those. So 182 and 117. So the total fees was about $3. This is my fulfillment cost. And then here is the final answer. So I was able to profit $13.95, almost $14 just for one mug. I mean, that's pretty cool. And if we go back to Printful right here, these are my stats for this month. So for November, right here, we're going to see that I've sold 65 white glossy mugs. And, we still have today's Black Friday and we still have Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to end up selling more. But I just asked ChatGPT, if I sold 65 mugs with an approximate profit of $14, how much would I profit? We can see right here, it's 906. So with Black Friday today, Saturday and Sunday, coming up or tomorrow and the next day, I'm going to profit over $1,000 just selling mugs. So this is why I like selling mugs so much. This doesn't include my t-shirts. This doesn't include my hats. This does not include any of my digital downloads. Just from mugs this month, I'm going to profit over $1,000. So this is why mugs are my number one favorite print-on-demand product to sell on Etsy. And this is why I recommend that you sell mugs too. All right, now let's do a little product research and look for some design ideas that we can use to sell on our own Etsy shop. And I am using EVERBEE here, and I would highly recommend EVERBEE. It takes out all the guesswork, and we can just use actual real data to get information. So here I am on Etsy, and I just typed in mug, and just the first row right here, we got some good examples. If I just click on this first one right here, it will take us to this page right here. We can see this one, really nice design. If we go to analyze listing, I mean, these sales are crazy. Just in the last month, it's done $5,000 in revenue. And if we look at the all-time sales, and I think this listing's only been up for 8 months. Yeah, so only been listed for 8 months, and it's made almost $100,000. It's just crazy the amount of sales you can get on Etsy. So really good stats right here. And if we go into this person's shop, and if I type in, because I was thinking maybe dad. I'm a dad, so I went dad mug. And I saw that they have these other ones that are also getting lots of sales. We can take a look at this one right here and look at the stats. It's basically going to be not the exact same, but it's going to be very similar. So let's go to all time, and we will just see, just crazy amount of sales. So about half, 47, still very good. But when I was looking at these designs, I noticed they're all pretty similar. They're all basically these handyman kind of mugs. And I was thinking I'm a dad. I drink coffee every day, all throughout the day. But this wouldn't really resonate too well with me because I'm not a handyman. But what would resonate with me is like a gym one. I'm really into the gym. I go to the gym all the time. So if there's a design like this where we had like kettlebells, dumbbells, like protein shakes, weights, the plates that you put on the barbell, that would work really well for me. I'm also not seeing like a fishing one or a hunting one, that could also work well. Now these are personalized designs, so they do take a little work, but hey, to make 100,000 in less than a year in revenue just to do a little work in the morning, I would definitely do it. So that's some ideas right there. You can look for these, designs that are selling really well and just try and put your own spin on it. Think like how would, what are some other ways, I could design for this? ChatGPT is a great way. Just take a screenshot, put it in there, and just say, what are some other design ideas that would make sense for this design? If we go ahead and just do another one, if we take a look at this one right here. So these are for mugs for people that live in different areas, for best friends. So you might have a friend that lives in Florida, you live in California. So this is like a friendship gift. So you could do a design like this. But basically what you would do is you would look for other saying. So here it has all these sayings I think you can choose from. So you pick which saying works the best. But what I've learned on just print on demand in general is that funny sells. So, what I would do is I would go to ChatGPT and I would just ask it, give me some phrases that are similar to this, but I want them to be hilarious. I want them to be funny. And I actually did this the other day. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it right now. Pause video. Okay, so here we are in, excuse me, in ChatGPT. And what I did is I just took a screenshot, popped it in ChatGPT, and I said, I want to make mug designs similar to this, but I want 10 to 20 different phrases that are funny and hilarious. And it actually spit out some pretty good ones. I'm actually pretty impressed with how good ChatGPT is. So still stuck with you even from several states away, long distance, but still my favorite headache. Our states change, but your chaos energy remain. Far apart, but still judging people together. Miss you, but not enough to move back. That's a really fun one. I miss you, but not enough to move back. What's this one say? That stupid thing's always in the way. Different states, same nonsense. And then it has more, across the country, but still closer than your ex. Long distance champion, gold medal, and ignoring your text. Miles apart, but still stealing your stacks mentally. Our friendship survived you moving away. Impressive. You moved, but I kept the trauma thing. So, you can make something kind of similar to this design that is getting a whole bunch of sales. Again, we can do the same thing and look at, the stats here just in the last month, kind of similar to that mom one. If we go to the all-time sales, let's see how long this one has been selling for. So only 7 months. Is this for real, man? You see, almost 50,000 in revenue. So, again, you can just, use EVERBEE to get the research. I'll put an affiliate link for EVERBEE in the description. I think they have a Black Friday deal probably going on today. Yeah, so this is how you can do like market research. That's just one way. There's so many mug ideas that you can do. Personalization is definitely going to help. But basically, the moral of the video or the moral of the story is sell mugs. They sell like crazy. They have great profit margins. They're low maintenance, barely any returns. They make great gifts. So, and you can see from my stats, I've been able to do pretty well, making over $1,000 a month just selling these mugs. All right, so that's going to be the video for today. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Oh, and one last thing, forgot to mention, if you're struggling to get sales on merch or even on Etsy, I have a SKOOL community, which is basically a niche service where I give you niches and prompts every day for both merch on demand and for Etsy, for both print on demand and for digital downloads, because I sell print on demand on my shop and I also sell digital downloads. So, you get basically, prompts, designs that you can use to sell on t-shirts or even mugs, but you can also use those prompts or designs to sell as digital downloads. I also give like TV frame arts, PNG files, Tumblr wraps, prompts, so all that good stuff. So if you're interested, click the link in the description. It will take you to this page right here. You can kind of watch the video, get some more information. It's only $24 a month, cancel anytime. So I'd love to see you in the community. Okay, thanks so much for watching. See you on the next one. Adios.